Jodie Sweetin is swapping her full house for a Central American jungle in the reality show Beyond the Edge, which sees 9 celebrities roughing it to raise money for charity.
Oh, yeah!
The actress tells people how easily she adjusted to life in the great outdoors.
It's amazing how quickly you're just in survival mode and you're like, whatever, I'm dirty, I'm this, sure, I'll eat a sea snail. Did we boil it? Great. You know, like, you're like sleeping in the rain and you're like, oh, I only got a little bit drenched tonight, like not like I was, you know. You quickly acclimate to like, oh, this is just really uncomfortable. Okay, what do I have to do to survive? And that really surprised me. I thought like I would be like, oh no, this is so, because I did not think I was an outdoorsy person. And strangely enough, I actually think I am, and I really like it.
The mom of 2 also used the competition series as a chance to set an incredible example for her daughters.
I have 2 incredibly strong, amazing, independent young women that I get to be mom to. And so, you know, I know that they're fierce young ladies, and I want to exemplify that. And, you know, I was playing for Girls Inc., which is a charity I've played for before, and that's exactly what their goal is to raise strong, smart leaders and young women of the future. And you know, so that I was like, well, that's what I want to go out and exemplify. And I know my daughters, you know, and it's funny though, my oldest one will take screenshots of me making ridiculous faces. And that's just what she sends to me as like a way to be like, I'm watching it, but I'm still making fun. So like, you know, not like she can't be too cool because she's 14.
But the former child star explains that she sometimes has to check herself around her kids, who are growing up in very different circumstances.
I can't pull that like, do you know what I was doing at your age? I had a job and I was traveling on the weekends and doing homework in the car and going to school half days and getting picked up and learning lines. I was doing a lot of things, and like remembering that they are just normal kids that don't have all that responsibility. Sometimes I'm like, I'm like, oh no, this is a different experience than what I had. And you know, it's really interesting sometimes to be like, oh yeah, no, they get to just be like regular kids. It's, you know, whatever. Don't put that expectation on them that they, like everything has to be done in a certain time and they gotta have a schedule and they got, you know, that's different for them.
A major player in Jodie's adolescence was her Full House co-star Bob Saget, who tragically passed away back in January. Now she's reflecting on the wonderful relationship she had with the late actor.
The one thing I always knew was that Bob was proud of me. Like he told people how proud he was of them and how much he loved them. And so and that was, you know, what was said so many times at his services. And when we were talking about it, was like, you know what? I'm so glad that Bob was who he was, because I know exactly how he felt about me. Like I know there was nothing that I was like, I wish I would have hugged him more. I wish I would have told him I loved him, or that I was so happy that this happened, or that, you know, he came through this. No, you knew that you had said all of those things and that you knew exactly where you stood, and it was good. It was all good.
Jodie has a lot of good to look forward to as well. She's currently planning a small wedding to her fiancé Mescal after the couple got engaged in January, and she explains why she wants an intimate ceremony.
I think the pandemic has really changed weddings too. I think people are like, oh, why am I putting myself, you know, again, in $100,000 worth of debt or spending all this money on a credit card or whatever? Like, save the money on the wedding, spend it on the travel and the experiences that you're going to remember. You know, like fiance and I want to go to Europe. I've only been to Dublin when I did Name That Tune recently for like 4 days. It's the only time I've ever been to Europe. And so like, and he's traveled around a lot, but we want to go and like just take a couple weeks and do that. And I'm like, I don't need to spend a ridiculous amount of money on it. Like, that's silly. Save it for, you know, being able to fly like first class so we can lay down and sleep on the plane.
For more on Jodie Sweetin, pick up this week's issue of People on Newsstands Friday.